ग्लोबल स्किल डेवलपमेंट मिशन में आपका स्वागत है।
Hopefully, I've given you lots and lots to think about already, but let's keep moving. I now want to address some of the different areas of the graphic design field that you may wish to choose to explore. Now, again, I'll bet you that you already have an inkling as to where you'd like to go inside graphic design. Perhaps you're naturally drawn to print design, or a lot of people are really drawn to web design naturally, so you probably already have a sense of where you want to go and where you want to wind up. But I think what I'll do is I'll try and outline the graphic design field as a whole. There's two fundamental areas to explore that I'm going to break down here for you: print design and digital design, or any kind of electronic design, okay? And by the way, there's a lot of overlap between these two worlds, okay? Let's start off with print design. So in the field, or in the world of print design, we have a variety of areas or subfields that you may wish to explore. Here are some of them. This is by no means a comprehensive list, but here's some of them. You may decide to get into package design, product package designing. And I know that this is a huge field. So essentially designing the packaging for all kinds of different products: food products, medicine, video games, toys. It's endless. Any kind of labeling or tags, anything like that you would see on a typical product that you'd see in a store, of course. Okay? Now, here's another huge area of the print world is advertising. This could be newspaper ads, magazine ads, even electronic ads on the web. Anywhere where you see any kind of advertising would fall into the category of graphic design, of course, and specifically the advertising arena. All right, what else? Print publication. This, of course, has been an industry that's been slowing down and shrinking over the last 10 or 15 years, but specifically what I'm referring to is the magazine industry, the newspaper industry. It is a contracting industry, so I would be concerned myself if I were just getting into graphic design about exploring this area further, but you may decide to get into things like book design and book publication, things like that. That's a huge area that's still, of course, alive and well. Okay? What else? Identity. Now, what I mean by identity, and you may have heard this term before, we're talking about branding. So things like logo design, and this ties in really heavily with marketing. So logo design, visual expression, visual communication, and so on. Another area that you may wish to explore is sign making, or oftentimes referred to as signage. This could be banners, this could be storefront signage, or trade show or convention signage, all that kind of stuff. You could certainly explore that area as well. There are, of course, many other areas to explore in the world of print design, but I think I'll leave the list at this. I'm sure you have a decent idea of where you could go here. All right, now, on the other side of the fence, we have the world of digital design, or as I mentioned a moment ago, electronic design. And of course, the first one right off the bat is what we would refer to as front-end web design. What do I mean by that, front-end web design? Well, designing the way a website looks, essentially, without getting into the back end, which would be more on the coding side. So a lot of times, designers will be tasked with creating something that looks nice in terms of an interface. But don't forget, a web layout isn't just about looking nice. It's got to be functional. It has to serve a purpose and solve that problem, don't forget. But the front-end web design, the visual appearance, if you will, of a web layout. Or what you could do, and I strongly recommend this, is you could become a hybrid front-end designer and also a developer. What does that mean? What's the role of a developer? Well, essentially, a developer is someone who understands code. And don't let that scare you off. What I'm talking about is very simple stuff, actually, very straightforward stuff to learn. HTML, CSS, perhaps some JavaScript. Also understanding how to work with web servers and how to work with server-side technologies. It sounds technical, but as a matter of fact, it's really not that bad at all. And I strongly recommend that you move into this area, the hybrid designer-developer, if you want to get into web design, because hybrid designer developers are quite sought after. If you can only design the front end of a website and you aren't able to build it in code, then obviously you would be less desirable than another potential candidate or freelancer who can handle both. Okay? All right, what else do we have? How about the emerging market of mobile design? I'm not just talking about mobile design as far as websites are concerned, but what about app design? Of course, both on the Android and on the Apple iOS platforms. So you could get into that if you were interested. That is, of course, an area that's on the rise. So you may wish to explore it. All right, you could also get into broadcast or video design, anything from broadcast graphics to DVD interfaces, anything like that, and that ties into the world of multimedia as well. So again, there's a lot of overlap, a lot of crossover here. You could also get into electronic presentation design, which again starts to get a little blurry when we talk about multimedia and presentation and video design. But in any regard, this isn't meant to be a comprehensive list of areas to explore in the world of electronic or digital design, but hopefully it at least gets you started. So there you go. There's a look at some different areas to explore in the world of graphic design. And by the way, throughout your career as a graphic designer, you'll likely be moving between these fields or work in several fields simultaneously. And as a matter of fact, the more fields that you work in, the more sought after you're going to be, the more skilled you're going to be. Myself personally, I'm skilled in the world of print. That was my background. And I'm also skilled in the world of electronic design, web design, mobile design, interface design, and so on. So I've moved around quite a bit over the years. All right, so hopefully this has given you a sense of some different areas that you may wish to explore in the field of graphic design.